For all the times that you've been like, my vision is clear, why the WTF is it not manifesting in? This episode is for you. Okay. We are going to create some powerful clarity for you. And I have a life changing invitation for you inside the episode. So let's get into it, shall we? Our lives are awaiting some massive change. Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast, where we explore the mindset shifts, energetic upgrades, and practical strategies that support you in becoming the woman who creates what she desires with confidence and clarity. I'm Amy Diamond, and I help high-performing women like you move beyond shame, guilt, and struggle so that you can step into deeper wealth, confidence, and a life that feels delicious inside and out. If you've ever sensed you are meant for more and you're ready to create it, this is your place. It's time to move beyond the vision board, babe, and become the catalyst for true transformation. You're about to step into something really powerful. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Manifesting Millions podcast. I almost said workshop. I'm deep in getting things ready for the Magic Money Workshop that is coming in July. And so workshop is on my brain. Welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, Amy Diamond. I'm delighted to be here with you. We are at the beginning of summer here in Calgary, which means that we've had a tremendous amount of rain. We currently are experiencing some smoke, and according to the forecast, we're on our way to some heat. So yay. I'm working in the living room, and it sounds like I'm going to be there for the next couple of weeks while the air conditioner does its beautiful job keeping our home at a reasonably comfortable level, and it's tucked into my office. So here we are. For my Canadians listening today on the day that this is released, happy Canada Day to you. It is always fun to have the day to share with their loved ones, to do something fun, to celebrate this amazing country that we live in. I know there was like a couple years ago, there was this whole political thing about, we can't celebrate Canada Day. Anyway, I'm delighted to have you here. For our friends south of the 49th, your day, I believe, is Saturday, right? I think Saturday is the 4th. So happy 4th to you. And if you're in neither of those countries and you're elsewhere in the world, I'm stoked to have you here. So thanks for being here with me. All right, let's get into today. I want to talk a little bit about two slightly different topics. The first thing that I want to touch on, I was listening and preparing for an interview that I'm going to be doing with another creator later on this week. And so I was listening to one of her previous interviews to kind of get a sense of her work and backstory and stuff. And in the interview, as I was driving around collecting my groceries, one of either the interviewer or the person I'm interviewing, doesn't matter who, but somebody said this idea that, we think we get the vision and then all of a sudden it's all going to just happen. And it sort of twigged my brain. Now, I was driving to Costco. I was very tempted to just pull over and start recording right then. And I'm like, Amy, you got shit to do. Go get the groceries first, record the podcast episode later. So here's what we have coming through a few hours after I heard this. Let's talk about some of what gets promised when someone is promoting a workshop, when someone is promoting a program, when someone is promoting coaching. And we're going to talk about it specifically as it relates to clarity and your vision. What is often promoted is, join me in this workshop and you're going to have a super clear vision to move forward, or work with me as your coach and we're going to give you the clarity that you need to create the life you want. or, like sign up for this program, whatever. The point is that the messaging is very clear. We're going to have this clear, actionable vision, and that this then somehow translates into a shortened, how do I say this, timeline of events into experiencing the life that we desire to have, right? Everybody says the first step is to have clarity on your vision. You got to know what you want. Totally understand that. I don't disagree with that. But what I think that we need to address, what I'm going to address today, is this. Sometimes it's very direct. Sometimes it's said like very out loud. And certainly I'm sure there are creators, coaches, experts in the world who can help you build a vision, and that vision is going to like instantly generate some results. But I would say that for the vast majority of us, that is unlikely the experience that we are going to have. And what I loved so much in this podcast interview that I was listening to was that the person being interviewed said, yes, I had the vision. I was clear on where I was going. I thought that it was just, within 6 months, things were really going to start rolling. And she said, 3 years later, it seems like a short amount of time, but it took quite a while to get aligned into that vision and for that vision to start proving out into my life. One of the things that I really endeavor to do in all of the work that I do, whether it's through things like the podcast or the YouTube channel, or through my workshops, or through my programs and my coaching, is to really ensure that I am being honest and transparent and clear about what we are doing and the results that are potentially available for you. But this puts me on the outside of a lot of business advice and marketing advice in particular, when they're all saying like, you need to sell them the result. Everybody wants the result. And I'm like, but how do we promise them a result when there are so many factors at play? Hey, so real quick question for you. Are you on the Insights email list already? And if you are not, what are you waiting for? Folks on my Insights email list get the best of the best from me. They get super secret deals, they get insights and freebies and all kinds of cool stuff delivered straight to their inbox. So if you are not yet on the list, get yourself on there right now. Click the link in the show notes and let's get you signed up so I can help you continue to keep expanding. Because babe, OMG, the world wants more of you. So let's get you going. When we're thinking about our vision, when we're thinking about where we want to go, if you've been trying to get it together, if you've been trying to, and even if you have it, even if you're like, Amy, I've got it written down. I read it every day. I write it out every day. I know exactly where I'm going. If it hasn't yielded for you yet, if you're not experiencing that vision that you've set forward yet, I just want to remind you that there is nothing wrong with you. You're probably not doing anything wrong. In fact, you're probably doing everything correct for the direction and the journey that your life is meant to move forward on. And that if your vision is taking longer to arrive into your life than someone else's, that does not mean that you are behind. Doesn't mean that you're doing something incorrect. There was something that was so interesting from a different course creator that they were in the middle of a launch, and I can't remember exactly when this was, but I remember this question coming up, and her answer was so beautifully clear. I feel like I've used that word a lot already in the last 8 minutes. Her answer was so clear. The question was, how come when some people join your program, they get results right away? And I've been in this program for, 2 years and I still am not seeing results. And the answer was this, and I thought this was such a unique way of speaking to this very common concern. And it gave me a lot of insight into what's been going on in my own journey and my own learnings as well. And her answer said, some people are already right at the cusp of receiving what they've been desiring and, signing up for this program was the final catalyst, that final push that put them into the full alignment of that desire. Doesn't mean that if yours hasn't come through yet, that you're doing something wrong. It simply means that that person was potentially closer to the desire, and the enrollment or, the first module or whatever it was, just, close that final gap. And that really stood out with me because I was like, oh, okay. So often I'd feel disappointed and defeated. You sign up for a program, you're promised all of these things. You see all these markers of results. You see all these testimonials from people who've had these amazing experiences, these amazing results, within the first week or 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever. And you're like, oh my God, I want that. And then you're in it and you're like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, why am I not having this? Why am I not experiencing the manifestation of what I have been working on, right? Why is somebody else getting it before me? So the first part of this podcast, and the part 1 and part 2 are entirely unrelated. Okay. So you're welcome. The first part of this is just a gentle reminder and or offering, if you haven't heard this before, that even if you have clarity on the vision, even if you've signed up for a workshop or a program or coaching or something before, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Why do I still not have the results I want? It does not mean that you are having an unclear vision or that you need to push for further clarity. Just keep working the vision, keep moving forward in the direction, and further clarity will be unveiled for you. And literally, as I'm saying these words, I'm having a mini out-of-body moment where it's also being repeated back to me of Amy, you know where you're going. You don't need more clarity. Just keep working the program. Keep moving down the path because you are getting there. All right. So reminder to self as I share this with you. My love. So often we talk about wanting to manifest more money, wanting to create more income in our lives. And something that has been flowing through for me lately is that we've been focusing on the wrong element. It is not that we want to just manifest more money in our lives, but that we actually need to disconnect ourselves from the identity of a person who is under earning. This is something that is becoming very, very clear to me, and I'm seeing some really strong patterns in my own life and in the lives of people around us. And it's so integral to us building the life of our dreams that I've decided to run a free workshop on how to break the cycle of under earning and begin to move into the identity of a person who welcomes in the income that actually allows us to achieve the financial goals that we have and to feel good about it. If this sounds at all interesting to you, then I want you to join me. It's going to be completely free. It's going to be happening in July, and jump in with me for this free workshop because listen, babe, we need to put more dollars into your bank account so that you can really move and circulate money and abundance in the world in a way that feels wonderful and juicy to you. And step 1 to doing that is disconnecting from someone who is under earning. So join me in the workshop. The URL is in the show notes. I am so excited to help you break that cycle. All right, let's do a context switch. Super easy. All you have to do is listen to me. It's just that I would just want to give your brain a very clear, hey, we're going to get off this train. We're going to get onto a different train. Here we go. All right. So here's our new train. So I was writing some emails in preparation for the money magic work. I keep forgetting if I have it as money magic or magic money. I say them interchangeably. It doesn't matter how it is. I believe that it is magic money. I have a workshop coming up at the end of July that if you are listening to me right now, you absolutely want to be part of this workshop. I am going to be teaching money, earnings and beliefs in a way I never have before. There has been profound clarity and awareness rolling into my life over the last 6 months. And this workshop is just, it's hard to describe, but it is, I just feel the power coming through this. This is going to be a life altering event. I realize that that is a really big promise to give you. And yet I feel very confident in that. This workshop it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to sign up and like join me for the workshop. There is a VIP all access pass that you can sign up for. So once you sign up for the workshop, you'll see the option to upgrade your experience into the VIP. My VIPs are going to get extended rewatch time of all of the trainings. And most importantly, this one is like, there's actually two super critical things that you are absolutely going to want to do the VIP with me. The first is that after every training, so there's 4 days of training, after every single day, once we close the training, we're going to go into a separate exclusive invite only room, and we're going to do some group coaching, some spotlight coaching. You're going to have space and time to ask me questions and get further insights on what we've been talking about, what we've been learning about, so that you can actually start to build an even deeper forward momentum on what we're learning. The second thing that's super powerful that you absolutely are going to want to do the VIP upgrade for is what I'm calling the Money Magic Spell Book. And the spell book is it's still being written. I'm going to be candid with you, but here's what is framing up in my mind is that it is an uncovering of some of what's happening underneath, and also beginning to write the new spell for how money is moving in your life moving forward. All right. We got a real like wizardy kind of vibe going on. Wizardy, witchy, whatever. It's going to be juicy. The workshop is running live from July 28th to the 31st, which is a Tuesday through a Friday. You can sign up today. I think I have everything set up so that you can get the VIP upgrade as you sign up today. But even if that isn't triggering quite correctly yet, then you're going to get an email from me afterwards anyway to invite you for the VIP. And then the very last thing I just want to add in here is that there is a secondary boost if you wanted to add lifetime access into all of the training. You can add that as well. You can do VIP without lifetime access and just get the extended access. But if you want to have lifetime access for a small investment, you can get the lifetime access for all of the trainings as well. Okay, so let's come back to it. So the Money Magic workshop, we are going to be addressing something that I have yet to see be addressed in the realm of money as what I've seen it. We're going to be focusing on the topic. I'm going to say this a few different ways, okay? And one of them is absolutely going to resonate with you. We're going to be focusing on the topic of financial scarcity. We're going to be focusing on the topic of under-earning. We're going to be focusing on the topic of extended financial struggle and the impact on your beliefs and ability to generate wealth. And we're going to be focusing on the impact of being the scapegoat child in a narcissistic parent relationship. Now that seems like a lot, and those seem like they are all completely disjointed from one another, and they probably are going to seem like, Amy, I don't want to talk about under-earning. I don't want to focus on financial scarcity. I don't want to, find out how like the extended experience of having financial struggle is like getting in the way. And here's my intent for you. Like I said, this is going to be a life-altering workshop because I am going to be teaching in a way that I have never seen anyone do and I have never done before. We are going to actually go deep and introduce as well as uncover ideas that have been sitting underneath that you don't even know were there, okay? Let's have like a real quick crack at under earning for a half a second. That's where we're going to start. We're going to start our Money Magic workshop on the topic of under earning. Under earning, just for some clarity, is in effect, it is you earning less than you should be. Okay. Now there's a much broader, how do I want to say this? A much broader approach to this. We're going to dive deep into it inside the workshop itself. But I just want you to understand in its simplest form, under earning is the state where you are earning less than you should be. And when I say should be, I don't mean like, well, you have big desires and so you should be earning more. I mean, you are very good at your job. You believe in your value. You know your value. You have, extended education or experience, and yet you seem to consistently be earning less than your peers, less than you like, less than you need. This one's big. One of the big markers of under earning is that we stay in jobs where we keep having business models that keep us disconnected from the income that would actually satisfy the financial needs and pressures and desires of our life. Okay? So if you've been like, why can't I seem to generate money in my business? No matter how much value I put out, no matter how much content I put out, people sound really excited when they hear about my work, and yet I can't translate that into dollars. OMG, get your sweet peach into this workshop because we are going to talk about that. Let's have a quick chat about the scapegoat child. This is a brand new thing that I have never taught on before, and I have barely even talked about on the podcast. I've been writing, it's in the book that I've been working on. It features in some of the chapters in terms of how certain things have shaped my experiences. But as this idea for the Money Magic workshop was coming together in my brain, I was like, what are the limiting beliefs of scapegoat children? And as the research started to show, I was like, OMG. And it was dovetailing perfectly into the topic of under earning. And the fascinating thing is that I think my suspicion is there are far more children of narcissistic parents in the world than we are aware of. And if you are the scapegoat child, if you feel like you have a narcissistic parent, but you're not sure if you're the scapegoat child, just do a little bit of Googling, and you can read a couple of articles and you'll be able to see pretty quickly, if there is some strong similarity. I got to tell you, the first time that a friend said to me, this is way back in my 20s, Amy, I think that your mother is a narcissist. And I was like, that's not possible. That's not who she is. She's, this wonderful, loving person. And they were like, yes, and also maybe this. They sent me an article and I read through it and I was like, holy shit. This feels like a description of my life. I was like, did this person somehow, have they been watching me my entire life? And they're like, so here's how it's going to go. It is crazy. Okay. But something that isn't talked about, especially in the topic of money, is the long-term impact of being a scapegoat child of a narcissistic parent and your actual earning ability. So we're going to uncrack. We're going to open that up. We're going to get into it. Okay. It's going to be great. And then we're going to talk about the long-term effect and impact of, how do I say this? Let me say this differently. We're going to be talking about the impact of extended periods of financial struggle and financial scarcity. This one, dropped into my awareness in such profound clarity when I saw an Instagram post of someone who's been a millionaire since they were in their 20s. And all I remember, I didn't even look at the whole post. I think I was in the process of closing Instagram when this thing popped up onto the feed, and it just said broke at 23, millionaire at 25. And it was like fireworks crackled across my brain, and it was like, oh my God, okay. And all of these awarenesses started to just break open for me. And it got me starting to really question the effect, the lasting effect from having extended periods of financial struggle or scarcity. So I'm not talking about like a couple of weeks, although if you've had a few weeks or even a few months of financial scarcity, financial struggle, they will absolutely have an impact. But if you have spent years, decades, especially in financial struggle, you know more of your life being one of like trying to stretch the dollars across everything than you do of a life where you have more than enough money for everything that you want to do, then this workshop is going to be so, so, so powerful for you, because what I have been really seeing and is proving out in the research that I'm digging into right now as I prepare and make sure that this workshop is really good for you, is that when we have these extended experiences of financial struggle, financial scarcity, they and the older that we are, meaning the longer that we have had these experiences, the more lasting the impact. So if you've enrolled in money programs before, you've enrolled in manifestation programs before, you've hired coaches, and you're just like, why can't I seem to like crack this nut? Why can I not seem to get out of this cycle of financial scarcity? Like, when they talk about you need to just like ignore what's happening and be delusionally believing in like where you want to go. We're going to talk about that inside the financial scarcity day because I have a very strong suspicion. And so far, most of my suspicions have proved out, which is why I'm getting in front of this like before I've like necessarily done like a full deep dive into all the things. I want to get this into your hands sooner. I have a very strong suspicion that if you've been having extended financial scarcity and struggle, there is an additional hurdle to actually manifesting in money and getting your brain and your body on board with the beliefs that you need to have, that need to feel real to you, that need to feel possible for you in order to manifest in the money that you want. So this workshop is, like I said, it's completely free to sign up. The link is in the show notes for you to do so. And it's actually it's so funny. I was gonna talk about something different, but I'm gonna record a whole separate podcast episode on that. The other thing that I was gonna talk about, because I feel like this has really gone deep and I don't want to introduce like a third thing for you. Okay. So I'm just gonna do a quick recap of what we talked about today. All right. So first things first, vision. If you have the vision, you have the clarity, and you're like, why the heck is this not proving out? Why is it not manifesting forward in my life? What is taking so damn long for this to show up? Keep moving in the direction of that clarity, because more things will continue to be unveiled for you. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to. Okay, let me just say this real quick. Something that I have found myself doing, especially when it feels like, I'm like, but I had the vision. I was so clear on what I desired, and I was so clear on like what that should look like and how it should feel and whatever. And then over time, you're like, is it ever showing up? So then I would go, well, it must not be clear enough, because otherwise it wouldn't be here. Because if it was clear, then the universe would have delivered it. And so then I go back in and I try to like tweak it even further and fix it even more and get even more clear. And I'm like, but I don't know how much more clear this can be. I don't understand why it's not working. Listen, if you've been in that cycle, I see you. And sister, we don't have to keep doing it that way. It's not serving us. What is going to serve us is simply just keep moving in the direction of the vision. Because holy moly, as we keep moving forward, even though everything around us doesn't look like it's working in any possible way, shape, or form, it's all coming together. Okay? I could take just about every part of my life and walk you through a journey of how, this was the desire I had, zero idea how that desire was going to show up. And then when that desire did show up, it didn't look exactly like what I thought, but it looked way better than what I thought. But it came in this like completely arbitrary way that I could never possibly have predicted. So the same thing is true, I think, for every part of the vision in our life. This is where lots of teachers get into, like the how is not your job. Forget about that. Ignore that because we've heard it enough times. It's not helping us. I just want you to really, instead of going like, okay, Amy, the how is not my job. That's the universe's job. Here's what we're simply going to focus on. We're going to go, listen, this is the vision. I'm moving forward in the vision. Universe, God, source, angels, everybody keeps showing up for me on this vision. It's coming. It is moving forward. It is arriving into my life. I am in full expectation of winning. This is how it's coming forward. And it might take us 5 or 10 years to get there. I don't know. I don't know what your vision is. And sometimes the world needs to catch up, right? So sometimes you're already there and the rest of the world is like, oh, hey, okay, well, now we're ready for this thing. You're like, oh my God, fucking finally, you got here. So that was recap of step 1. And then part 2, or part 1, I guess. Part 2 is really was me just like talking about the money magic workshop. Seriously, get your tush in there. I really, really, really would love to see you in the room with me. Be there live as much as possible. Sign up for the VIP All Access Pass because it's going to just take everything that is already going to be life-changing that we're talking about in the training and like put it on like, I don't know why NOS is the word that came to mind, but like rocket fuel. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. We're just going to really supercharge it inside that exclusive all access room. But you have to upgrade into the VIP, okay? And I will give you everything I got inside that room. I absolutely promise you. It's going to be really great. So the workshop goes live in, I think it's 4 weeks from it's 4 weeks from today, which is the day I'm recording it. It'll be 4 weeks less a day by the time you're hearing this, if you're hearing this when this comes out on the 1st. But go ahead, save your seat. You can upgrade to the VIP All Access Pass anytime. You don't have to do it right now, but you can do it anytime up until, I think, July 30th, because there's going to be a point at which it just doesn't make sense for the VIP upgrade to be open for enrollment. So anyway, get your tush in there. Join me in the Money Magic Workshop. Let's create some serious friggin' momentum. How I'm looking at this workshop is really as unlocking your earning. Okay, so I probably should have said this before, but it's an unscripted interview or a podcast, which is why we're here and we're just going through it all. The whole intent of this workshop is for you to get into a place where money feels like magic, but in the best possible way, not in like this magic where like you can't understand it and it's like, oh my God, like it's just like this smoke and mirrors, but in this place that feels magical, that feels delightful, that feels delicious, right? That you are unlocking the earnings that you've known for so long. Like you've just felt the call, you felt the pull, you felt like that you should be earning more is meant for you. And you're just like, what the F do I need to do to have this come in? Well, join me in the workshop and we're going to begin to like crack that open. Okay. So yeah, let's get your earnings unlocked. Join me inside the workshop. The URL to sign up is in the show notes. And very finally, if you haven't yet and you're not on my Insights email list, get your tush on the Insights email list. Because those of you in the know who are already on the list, shout out to you. Love having you with me. People on the Insights email list get early access to basically everything that I ever put out. They also get some very special deals, including like reduced rates for programs or coaching or early access to brand new things that are coming out. So get your tush on the Insights email list. And the links for all of that are in the show notes. My love, I wish you an amazing week ahead. And I'm so excited to see you in the workshop. And let's unlock your earning. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode, my love. If you loved what you heard today, I'd be so grateful if you left a review and shared it with someone ready for more. For additional love and inspiration, find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at XOAmyDiamond, or visit the links in the show notes. I'm already excited to connect in the next episode, and I'm cooking up something really juicy for you. Until then, I'm sending you all my love, and I'm reminding you, you're already awesome. It's time to let your brilliance shine.